Here is a 4-day travel itinerary to Hiroshima, Japan, with a day trip to Nagasaki as part of my Japan travel series. I started off in a bullet train from Kyoto to Hiroshima. Be sure to take a bento box on your bullet train journey. Just a reminder that it's not good etiquette to eat on regular transport, but on long journeys in bullet trains it is allowed. My bullet train journey was really scenic and I had a great time. From Hiroshima Station, we took the light rail to get to our accommodation. Just a reminder to bring coin change, as conductors rarely have exact change and Japan operates on cash currency. The light rail is a great way to see Hiroshima and you don't have to walk as much. It's best to visit Hiroshima in your Japan travel journey from Kyoto and on your way to Osaka. Instead of traveling from Kyoto or Osaka, I recommend spending at least a few nights in Hiroshima and doing a day trip to Nagasaki in order to truly experience Hiroshima. This is our accommodation that we booked through Airbnb. It was a great find with 2 double beds and a modern bathroom, and very spacious for all the luggage. We then walked around Hiroshima. Walking is a great way to get around the city. You can also do bicycle riding. Be sure to catch a ferry ride across the river. It's a great experience. We then visited the Atomic Dome. It is a very historical site and it has a lot of history about Japan, so take your time and make sure to read all about it in order to create awareness. The Atomic Dome is also right next to the Peace Memorial Park, which you can walk through. We then went to Hiroshima City to get the famous dinner okonomiyaki and walk through Hiroshima City Center. There's a lot of great desserts in Japan, so we did take some away. And here is day 2. We utilized our JR Pass to catch a JR West ferry in the Miyajima ferry line. Be sure to stop by 7-Eleven to get some handy snacks for your way. Japan has the best 7-Eleven with great choices. Here, after the ferry ride, we also saw some friendly deer. Be sure not to disturb it in its natural habitat. We then walked along to arrive at Hatishashi. The reason we're here is to actually see the very cultural floating temple. And this is the floating temple called Itsukushima Shrine. It was actually created in the year 593, created for an empress called Suko. There are tons of places that you can get pictures with the shrine in the background, but if you go here, you'll actually have to pay for it. I then recommend that you head to Mobidami Park. It is a really beautiful trail that starts with a cable car ride and lets you climb up to see the beautiful scenery. Be sure to take a photograph of the map before you go up. And this is the cable car ride known as Miyajima Ropeway. You do have to pay for it, but it is well worth it and a great thing to do in Hiroshima. Once we reached the end of the ropeway, we did see some friendly deer. Be sure not to disturb them in their natural habitat. We then walked around Mount Mason from the cable car. Be sure to read all of the signs that are there so you can really get to know the history of Hiroshima and Japan. There are some great observation decks here. Now there is a hike, so be sure to bring walking shoes and try not to carry too much other than the bare essentials, and bring lots of water and some food. In Japan, you will come across a lot of temples. Be sure to respect the culture, and you can take part in it as long as it is allowed. And this is a rooftop observation deck. The view here was incredible. I highly recommend coming here if you have a spare day. Now near the floating temple sign, there is actually a lot of snacks that come up during the day. Now the floating temple just dry up, which means that you can actually see the bottom when the tide comes up. We then went to Hiroshima City to get some dinner. On day 3, we visited Hiroshima Castle. This castle was actually rebuilt and is a replica. Make sure to read all the signs to understand what happened. And this bird tree actually survived. This is the original bird tree. It is incredible. There's plenty of places to sit and take in Hiroshima with views of the castle to appreciate the history and where you are. We then went to see the Eternal Flame and Hiroshima Museum. The museum is called the Peace Memorial Museum. On day 4, we took the bullet train from Hiroshima to Nagasaki. I highly recommend staying in Hiroshima and taking the day trip to Nagasaki. On the bullet train, there's actually different classes and you can walk around to see what each class is like. Be sure to reserve your seat ahead. At Nagasaki station, I actually did get some Cinnabon. And this is us walking around in Nagasaki. We visited the gardens and Nagasaki Museum. We then went back to Hiroshima. Our next stop is Osaka. That video is already out, so be sure to check it out on my channel. Like this video if it helped and make sure to subscribe for more Japan and world content. Be sure to check out my other videos about Japan, which includes Kyoto and Osaka.